Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. Andy, talking New England Patriots today, who are the second choice in the AFC East, which is incorrect in my opinion, but we will get to that. They are in the enviable position of having found, presumably, the quarterback of the future in 2 drafts ago, finding out that that guy is the guy last year, maybe, and then having a rough enough time last year as far as a team goes that they, I think, correctly moved on from the coach that replaced Belichick, and now they got a fresh slate with a new guy. And they also were bad enough last year. They got a really high draft pick and got to take the best offensive lineman in the draft, which was their biggest weakness. But I can't help but wonder if the needle has swung way too far in terms of the upside of the New England Patriots, considering there are still many parts of this roster which I find to be quite weak and or questionable.
Yeah, the cart has not only got in front of the horse, it's over the horizon at this point. Like, we're very excited. This could be one of the most improved teams in 2025. But it's because like your starting point was so low. I looked at some of my ratings I had for certain points of this season for this team. And I mean, yes, Drake Maye was great, but man, I didn't have any offensive lines rated this low, really, at any given point. I didn't have, certain parts of the defense were really, really suspect for big chunks of it. And it's funny because this preview last year, a bunch of our breath was wasted on when do you put Drake Maye in, and when's the perfect time? There's no good time because of the bad offensive line. Honestly, I wonder if that's a silly conversation to ever have ever again. I think teams, I don't feel like it happens that often where it's like, here's our plan. We're going to, this week, easy team right after the bye. Like, there's so many extenuating circumstances. There's never a good entry point. And sometimes it's just like, he has to play. Like, I don't care who we're playing. I don't care what our offensive line looks like. He's going to be the quarterback. What are we going to do? Just absolutely punt on the season, piss the fans off? So he went in, he played behind a horseshit line, and we saw some glimpses, which is fun. And like I said, big upgrade. They had a ton to spend. They spent it. They had high draft capital. They probably nailed the draft pick, although, some people have concerns about every prospect. No prospect is perfect other than the self-proclaimed unicorn, maybe, who is going to win both Rookie of the Years. Remember that I got the $10 on that at Bet Online that day.
I'm still cheering for that.
It's coming home. But yeah, it's still a work in progress, and it's a retread coach and a retread OC who is now stint number 3 with the Patriots. And as we've talked about yesterday, sometimes some of these great offensive minds, they lose. They lose to Father Time, or just they run out of innovations. They run out of ideas. I always think about the Green Notebook and like Henry Winkler and the Water Boy, and like, he has that spark and he's gonna figure it out no matter what. Like, even Belichick, like what Belichick was doing with defenses, nobody does that anymore because it doesn't work. Like, it was great, but a big part of his defenses were. It's funny because we're talking about Vrabel
towing the line.
Yeah. Well, and I think about Vrabel, and you think about like Teddy Bruschi and some of these massive linebackers. It's just not how defenses are constructed anymore. So even the best, he hasn't lost his fastball in the ladies department, but time is undefeated, and I don't know that Josh McDaniels is just going to come in and, hey, we're a great offense. And, Vrabel is just, he's a great leader of men, probably a good coach, but it's still it feels like people are so excited about this team, and there's just a trillion what ifs. If it comes together, a lot of upside, not a terrible schedule. And, they got some pieces in place, but I'd be very excited about this team next year.
Yeah, I feel like this is very much a year-wise team. Surely. It is funny you mentioned the rookie Will Campbell. Most first-round rookies, people can't stop creaming their pants over how they look. Will Campbell's not having a great time. It's worth noting. Even the people who usually gloss the Patriots are a little. He looks inconsistent, which feels like cherry coating that he is. He looks like a rookie, and he may be a guard.
That is the big knock on him is short arms. He might not have the length to play tackle.
Whoa. Did you see a bunch of guys that just got extended? Slater, Raymond.
They got their arms extended?
No, they just got their contracts extended with $100 million deals.
Yeah.
They're all in the short arm club.
I know, and it's not like it's the end all. It's not the end all be all.
Who was the third guy that got extended?
There's guys that can make up with it with technique and strength and leverage and balance and brains, and there's guys that can't. And we don't know if Will Campbell's which camp he's in yet. So
sure.
It is worrisome that it was a little bit of a knock. They were worried that he should maybe slide inside, as a lot of guys often do. Somebody has to play tackle though. Someone has to be out there, and they need people all over.
That was the key, which is the offensive line was such a problem last year. One pick wasn't going to fix it. You need 5 new guys, and you got a couple. Maybe. And it's I don't know. There's just there's enough hope and enough, just enough kind of overconfidence right now swirling around the people who really care about this team that I just feel like they were going to be a hair disappointed that things are not all fixed. But even though, is this a team on the come up? Yes, obviously. Are you ever going to have a rating for them anytime this week that matches will it ever be as low this year on any week as it was at its best last year? Probably not. There's just more talent on this roster. They would have to get wickedly hurt at some key positions for you to, I think, end up with a number that's as low as they were at their best last year.
My highest number for them was preseason. They only went, they bounced up and down a little, but preseason I was close to 375 to the negative.
Yeah.
And it went, that's a week 4 number. Where was I? I was at negative 4.83 to start last season. It bounced up after a couple weeks. They had a win. They weren't supposed to get early. Things were looking okay, and then it really went to shit. Even once we got the quarterback in, they bottomed out at around a -8, which is very, very bad.
Yeah. Sam mentions Josh McDaniels led a top 10 offense with rookie Mac Jones and me at receiver in 2021. I think they'll be somewhat competent. I got to tell you, there were not a lot of good offenses then. There were not a lot of good quarterbacks then. That was kind of a dark time in the NFL as far as just having good anything going. So the fact that they were top 10 then, if that team ran it back this year, I think we would be looking at squarely bottom 5. I don't know.
Fine with assuming he'll be above average. I'm fine
McDaniels,
with it.
His play call, his scheme, his system is going to be.
He might just be the ultimate poster boy for really good coordinator, just a quad A coordinator. You cannot ever let this guy be a head coach. You just let him go, put game plans together. It's what he does best. And what he had to work with in his previous job was a little suspect.
Well, let me push back on that a little.
Okay, go ahead.
Guy's obviously an all-time red ass. Rubs people the wrong way pretty much immediately.
He's like Lane Kiffin if he wasn't cool. That's who it reminds me of. It's like, what if Lane Kiffin was a dude I didn't want to have a beer because I would party with Lane Kiffin.
Of course, in a heartbeat.
100%.
In a heartbeat. Hopefully, will one day. The point is he has a tendency to take it too far, to push people, to push buttons the wrong way, blah blah blah.
Christian Wilkins style.
Does it Christian Wilkins style? Exactly. Does that? I'm dying to know all of the details on that one. By
God.
the way, even did you hear the quotes from the guy yesterday where he was like, "What the fuck is he talking about? Is there something else? Like something else really weird happened that we don't know about yet, which is driving me crazy."
In Denmark,
driving me crazy. Anyway, anywho, the idea of the offense staying together, even if you have a red ass offensive coordinator, okay, if Brady's your quarterback, he's just going to do what Brady does. He's going to follow the leader. If Belichick is the head coach, guy's got more respect had more respect at the time than anyone else in the league. Like, yeah, players are going to kind of keep it in line. But if you have those type of figures who are above the org chart compared to McDaniels, now you got Vrabel.
Really?
Is he enough? Is he enough of like he's enough of like a powerful voice in the room that if people on the offense are like pissed about what McDaniels is asking of them or the way he's interacting with them, do you think they're just gonna toe the line because Vrabel's here and I respect that guy?
I think that's what he brings to the table. I'm not excited about Vrabel as like the gameplay. Obviously, he brings a lot to the defense at times too. But I kind of that's my highlight with Vrabel. Is like this is a grown up, whereas last year we had that was a weird situation. It really makes me question the people in charge there because that was like a snap call, all in. Gerard Mayo, we've been planning this for 10 years.
One shot, one kill.
This is who we wanted. There's no question about it. And then it's like, oh, this is a horrible mistake. And it's to their credit, they did realize it and got rid of him after 1 week or 1 year. But I'm a Vrabel guy. I don't know that he's perfect in the sense of how we like some of our head coaches to be forward thinking offensively. And I don't know, who's your favorite head coach? Can't say Andy Reid.
Me personally?
Yeah. As far as the things you would admire in a head coach.
The things I would admire in a head coach. Sean McVay, probably.
I was going to say John Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh's up there.
Honestly, KOC, he hasn't had enough time in the league, but that guy has done nothing wrong.
I'd probably McVay because I really like the way that he kind of he's just reinventing things on the fly, and he is never relying on he never seems to be handicapped by everyone picking his org chart apart, trying to copy it, and he just keeps right on rolling.
We might have to take a straw poll.
McVay?
Yeah, McVay's great. We'd have to take a straw poll on how people feel about Vrabel, I guess. I was kind of in the camp where I couldn't believe he didn't get a job. And then I was not surprised at all when he was, it's a hometown hero. Not hometown, but he played there. I missed my chance to
say Sean Payton and really get a reaction out of you. Damn, why didn't I think of that?
Anyway. to be fair, I have really come around on Sean Payton. I mean, he's still a dirty bastard with a secret family, and he cheated to win. But I respect that. Yeah, and this is the best thing about Vrabel is he's not Mayo. Like I do think it's just such a big step up in class, and like this is. It's like having a substitute teacher and kids are fucking around in class compared to the guy who's taught school for 50 years and will hit you with a ruler.
He may not be Mayo, but he's vanilla. I don't know what wrinkle he's bringing to the table that distinguishes him as a head coach. I'm sorry. I don't know. I never I appreciated that he was able to do.
He got so much out of Tennessee teams. Like those Tennessee teams, again, he got. It's lucky if it happens once. It was not luck. Like
what year was that again? 2021.
They got a one.
They got no good offenses in the NFL.
I know that was an outlier. Like that was crazy that they got a 1 seed. But I mean, he got a lot out of his teams. I'm pro Vrabel.
Okay. All right. Patriots.
This is Vrabel's just bigger.
I think I'll ultimately I'm probably not going to do a ton of betting against the Patriots early this year. I think I'm just going to take a win total stand on them and just see how. Yeah, it's because their schedule. But I think this is one of the teams where I would tap they're already rated a bit high for my taste by the market, and if they win, they don't even have to do a whole lot of covering. If they just win the games that they're favored in, people will continually just kind of nudge their number up. The market number might just kind of naturally rise. And I think that sets up well for potentially just absolutely dumping stock with these guys mid-season to the finale and finding a number of times to really kind of pick and bet against them with the right kind of team that can take advantage of their weaknesses.
Well, and I kind of want to get ahead of. Well, I'm going to get way ahead of here. What is your expectations for when Stephon Diggs plays football?
It sounds to me like he's just going to go. You think he's going to miss the first couple weeks?
I'm still very. I'm ahead of schedule. No,
I made my week one number with a split at the top of the targets between Diggs and Douglas. I think those guys are getting your top two targets at week one.
I made my week one number with him sitting on the bench.
Interesting.
It was a middle of the season ACL. It was like week 8 or 9. It's one thing. So if this happens to an offensive guard, he's playing. But I mean, it's a receiver who's cutting and running on that. I haven't got a firm answer. And if somebody in the chat has a really strong opinion on this, I'd love to hear it, because my skill position number with and without Diggs is 2 points of difference. I mean, he's worth 20 percentile points compared to what you have to throw out there instead.
Yeah.
Well, it's not because Diggs is so good. It's because you're throwing out Pop Douglas.
I kind of like Douglas. We'll get to that in a second, but
he's flashing.
The AI says Dr. Deepak Chona, a well-regarded sports injury analyst, believe there's a 2/3 chance that Diggs will be good to go for week one.
AI says practice.
We're talking about practice.
I love Iverson jokes.
All right.
Offseason. Or how much do you want to talk about last season? It was very forgettable.
They were 4-13. Their expected win-loss was 5-12, so they underperformed by 1. The underperformance can pretty much be wrapped around the neck of Gerard Mayo, I would guess. I would say that my expectations for their defense heading into last year were higher than they came through for by a lot. I had them as the number 6 defense, number 32 offense going into last year's week 1 tilt. They ended up for me as the number 20 something defense. So that was a huge adjustment down. Can't remember exactly why that was such an aggressive adjustment, but from an EPA per play standpoint, the Patriots defense was not very good.
Losing some guys, and it was just the whole system fell apart. And then having the coaching staff that they did, they were always going to fall off a little. But
dude, they were 30th in EPA per play. Oh, they were much worse than I remembered.
They were last in the NFL, and they only had 28 sacks.
Their pass rush. You know what my pass rush number was for them at the end of the year? 1.7. Yeah. What the hell? What happened?
Nobody.
The Gerard Mayo effect, I guess. But yeah, that was supposed to be the strength last year. They were not good. The offense was supposed to be the weakness last year, and the parts that we expected to be weak were. But they ended up slotting. What was the start for first start for Maye? He started 12 games, so I guess that was week 6 against Houston was his first start. I don't remember. Did he miss a start because of injury? I honestly don't remember. But whatever the case is, his
week 6 Texans. Yeah.
His 12 games as a starter, he was Fine. I don't know. He was expected to be bad because his protection was ass, and he was fine. So that almost, to me at least, there's rose-colored glasses on what we saw from him. And what it really, to me, I think what stood out from what we saw tape-wise from him last year, more mobile, more athletic, good awareness about when to scramble, put himself in harm's way a little bit on the ground. Made some very nice tight window throws. But ultimately there was a lot of inconsistency, which is not outrageous at all because he was a rookie. So I think if you're just like, show me the Drake Maye highlights package and you watch it, you're just like, yeah, got it. Like, nope, like very few players on earth can do that, let alone guys at his age at getting his compensation for your team. But in terms of EPA per play, he was slightly below 0. That was worse than Russell Wilson, worse than Trevor Lawrence, worse than Dak Prescott, worse than guys that had bad years, worse than Bryce Young. And I think that actually kind of marries up with what I saw going through the data a little bit more clearly, which is like, even if he has quote unquote it, he's still kind of in that high 20s range as far as a fair number.
It's what makes it really hard for him to rate. It's like, if there is an improvement in the skill positions around him, the offensive line, the play calling, the scheming, the game planning, if everything that affects him improves, we should see a guy who's league average or better. I mean, that's probably his ceiling, is like that same range we talk about for where Tua lands. Like, that's his ceiling this year. And that has to be Campbell clicks. The offensive line is I don't think it has a chance to be average. Like, the offensive line is almost average. Diggs is back right away. Everybody else contributes. You get another solid year out of the tight ends. The running back by committee is good, including, another good year by Stevenson. And it would put him above average. But for now, you can't just assume. Can't assume the double play. You can't assume the Drake Maye. And it's got to start pretty low, and we'll see from there. It'll be interesting, too, because of like we mentioned, we've foreshadowed a little the early season schedule. People might be pretty pumped about him if things go well against some teams they can win against.
Yeah, I didn't even actually have that many fun parts of their season last year. Did you?
I liked what you said. Well, and just him in general. I like what you said about knowing when to take off. I thought I agreed he did a good job about that, and it was, what you get from a rookie who isn't. I mean, even Jane Daniels, there's negatives, but it's what you get from a rookie. It's like, hey, there's a really nice pass, and hey, there's a really awful mistake, and that's the ones who make it are the ones who start to phase those things out. The problems, like the greatest example of all time, and I don't know that we'll ever see an example like this again, is Josh Allen's accuracy. And it was always for decades, that was like, you can't teach accuracy. It just, you have it or you don't. And it's never going to get enough to a high level, especially in mid to deep range. And the people that worked with him turned it around, and fucker won an MVP last year. So if he can work on things, and obviously he has a better coaching staff, a better offensive line coach, and better players around him, probably not good enough, but better. Like we said, it's improvement, but it's still not an improvement to the mean.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. He was 6-6 as a starter against the spread. Seemed to have a pretty good read on the Patriots with him under center. The Patriots were an over team last year. They were a very good team to bet the over. And I think that just speaks to what we were saying, which was, I think, league-wide, market-wide, the expectations for the defense were much higher than what was ultimately delivered. They were consistently totaled in the high 30s to low 40s, and they went over pretty regularly. Largely because their opponents got into the 28 to 30 range regularly. All right. Offseason was pretty, obviously it started with a little bit of turmoil as you fire Mayo, you hire Vrabel, Welcome back to Foxborough, Mike Vrabel. What do you win? 3 Super Bowls here?
And
I think he won 3.
he had, I think he had more career touchdown catches than any of the wide receivers had last year.
Oh, that's a fun
He was
nugget.
fun. He was
A fun
I don't
nugget.
know that that's I don't know that that's true, but it feels like it feels like that probably is. He was fun because they did use him on offense. I used him for the thumbnail, an old throwback picture of him. Welcome back. They brought in, like we've talked about a couple times, Josh McDaniels.
By the way,
OC.
he did have more career touchdowns than anyone on the team did last year.
Okay.
That's great.
That's
Great
fun
nugget.
trivia. Fun trivia for the bar tonight, guys.
Yeah. How many touchdowns did he have, Andy?
Is it 7?
Let's see here. It was 10. 10 touchdowns.
Oof, that's a ton.
The
Does that
top
count?
scorer for last year's among last year's receivers was a tie with 3. Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas, Keyshawn Booty, and Austin Hooper all had 3 touchdowns last year. All right. Yeah, you hire Vrabel. Congratulations. Maybe it works. Presumably he'll get more than 1 year. I'd be pretty shocked and disappointed if it was a
I think his leash is pretty long, yeah. Under the radar, but Doug Marrone is your offensive line coach.
Yep.
That happens where we say that coaches never truly they run out of chances. They just get worse jobs. Like it's, if you've been in the league, you can always find a job doing something. I guess the big signings were Diggs and Williams. Milton Williams gave him $1 trillion, 4 years, 104, biggest contract in franchise history, according to the internet. He brings the concern on him was he played for a team that doesn't ask you to be on the field for every snap, and he played fewer than half the snaps last year. And I don't think that's how they want to probably use a guy they spent that much money on. So it'll be interesting to see what his workload looks like.
Should be fresh.
That's positive. Good way to put a spin on that, I guess. Stephon Diggs, we already talked about. We're not sure about the injury. My worst case, I think, is like week 3. I'm considering him out for a week or 2. I don't think it goes on much further than that. You got Garrett Bradbury as a center from Minnesota. He was let go by Minnesota for a reason. You got Morgan Moses as a tackle. Was he a Jet? Yes. You bring in Harold Landry from Tennessee as a pass rushing outside linebacker. You bring in some depth to it. Interior and I can never say Tonga. I can never say his name or first name right. Crisis. That's not right at all. Crisis. Tonga. Carlton Davis as a opposite corner from Christian Gonzalez, and you retained a lot of people as well. And then Robert Spillane, who I believe is going to be your Mike linebacker in the middle. And it does look like, if anything, this defense should take a nice big step forward. If things mesh well, you have a bunch of good players. You started with decent safeties, a really good corner one. You still have Christian. You have now. I mean, you always had Christian Barmore, but he missed some times with the blood clots and stuff. He should be good to go now. So it's almost like getting another player that you didn't really have, and it feels like there should be some serious upside to this defense. The offense is, we possibly made improvements on the offensive line, and we got a wide receiver 1 coming off ACL injury.
Okay. There's a common theme with a lot of these guys they brought in. They all fall on the same list. Maybe washed? Question mark.
Baby boomers.
Milton Williams is not one of them. Everyone else besides Milton Williams on this list is possibly washed.
I don't. Carlton Davis. I don't know if I can say that.
He's
a vet. I know, but that defense was that was a very injured defense at times last year, and he was asked to do a bunch. Harold Landry, I can worry about. He was another one that he had an ACL, a year or 2 ago. Spillane, he's 30 in December. Moses is what? How old is Moses? 34.
In tackle years.
In tackle years,
84.
84. Matt Collins is on this team. He's a player. I implore
Special
you right
teams
now.
contributor.
So he has an injury. It's it's undisclosed, but I implore you right now to stop what you're doing. Go to a browser, open up Google, and type in Matt Collins.
Yeah.
Because when I did it, for some reason, one of the pictures it's
Yabba dabba do.
You did it for you too?
Yabba dabba do.
The largest picture they chose is him in a Halloween costume for reasons unknown.
Fred Flintstone, Matt Collins. No, here's the thing. Like these free agents, this is the second time now in 3 years. I can't remember what year Belichick got the checkbook and went on his spending spree and got, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, and
they spent a lot of money on 2 tight ends.
Yeah, they were spending this big spending spree by Belichick, and then you looked at all the pieces and you're like, went there. What? Okay. All right. Didn't love it. And GM Belichick was notoriously horrible. And this is a little bit of the same feeling. Like you went out there with a big checkbook and you were trying to solve all your problems and you paid a lot of guys a lot of money and you got Milton Williams and maybe a lot of guys that weren't getting offers anywhere else. Like maybe anywhere. And it doesn't feel like the great recipe for like having huge contributions from those players. And I got to tell you, when you scroll down and you're looking at, who's the GM again? Oh yeah, it's Elliot Wolf.
Yeah.
De facto. Okay. What does that mean exactly? Who's making these calls?
Yeah.
Who's making these calls? Like, is this Jonathan Kraft actually kind of saying, we need, I recognize that guy. I recognize that guy's name. What does he want? What is it? Like, he's like, we've made offers to like 4 or 5 players and they're turning us down. Like, just get me some guys here, and they ended up getting guys that were only really being pursued by one team. And I kind of feel like if the Patriots succeed this year, it's not because they hit on, more than 2 out of these 10 guys you just mentioned. It's because the young players and some of the players coming back off of injury, like, play to their potential, right? Like,
but again, and like people like Barmore, it's going to him coming back is great, and that's a boon for the team. Playing next to Milton Williams is just like a multiplier for him. I agree. The same thing with like Christian Gonzalez and Marcus Jones, who are some younger pieces in the secondary, like having a veteran like Carlton Davis instead of, whoever they were trotting out there at times last year. It just, Carlton Davis might not be what he once was, but it does help, like what you're saying as well. It's going to help these younger players continue to improve. And I think like, there's some people talking like this could be a top 10 defense. I think that's lunacy. I think this defense has a very good chance of being pretty close to the middle. And that would be something to get excited about, I believe, considering what we saw at times from it last year.
Oh, I completely agree.
Like, I cannot make this an above average defense.
Absolutely not. No, in no way. All right. Yeah, I don't know.
Before we get to the schedule, then the draft, I didn't mention that. We've mentioned Will Campbell a couple times already for pick 4. Travion Henderson, a lot of people love him. It's nice to have another explosive back. It's a good complement piece. He's a good pass protector. He has big playability, yada, yada. Should be good. We'll see what that split looks like. They drafted a receiver in round 3, Kyle Williams from Washington State. Fast. He had a big year, but it's Washington State. I don't even know who they play anymore. They're not in a conference. Like they're
Oregon.
They're in the Pac-12. I shouldn't shit talk them. Like I told you that my nephew is committed to play there. But basically, like the Pac-12 just absorbed the MAC or the Mountain West, I guess. But he had a big year there, and then from there, it's like a center that's, hey, this is the future center 2 years down the road, hopefully at pick 95.
I gotta tell you, on the possibly watch list, do you know who's at the top? Bradbury.
Garrett Bradbury. That's what. So I
think this rookie might beat him out.
This is where you draft a center of the future for sure. A safety named Craig Woodson.
The future might be next month, Andy.
I'm gonna have to check on Craig Woodson, see if he's related to anybody.
Ooh, is he?
I don't know, but he's a safety and his name is Woodson. That's fun.
That's cool.
I say he's versatile. He's gonna be somebody who might get some playing time, and then from there, just a lot of depth pieces. And then the biggest thing is the shifting to an aggressive defense away from what we were doing here in New England for many, many years, and then the McDaniels offense, which will be exciting to see.
Okay, let's look at the schedule. As you mentioned, it looks easy on paper. A lot of blue, particularly in the first 9 weeks of the season. They are only dogs twice until we get to November 9th. They're only dogs 6 times. 6 times all season. They're going to be favored in 11 out of 17 games. Excuse me. Does that feel right to you?
And maybe that is where I think this is where some of the upside that people are seeing is coming from. The Bills are a monster that might beat them 70-20 in combined 2 games. But you can very much have a winning record in your division because, as we said, we think Miami is a higher rated team than New England, but they have unlimited downside and they're very thin. And if Miami is not working, you could go 3-3, 4-2 pretty easily. And then you have a bunch of other winnable games. You play Tennessee, you play Cleveland, you play New Orleans. In fact, you play those 3 teams in a row. Carolina is a lot of people's darling team as well, but that's still a very much a work in progress. You play the Jets, you play the Giants, you play the Jets. Yeah, obviously you play you play the Jets twice, but it's a 4th place schedule, man. So there's a bunch of winnable games. Atlanta, there's no guarantees. That's going to be a feasible team with what I consider a problem coaching staff, and God knows what kind of gobbledygook they're putting together on offense now. So and Vegas is in there. This is an incredible schedule.
It's very good. Yeah.
For a team incredible. And there's still coin flips they're going to lose because it's a rookie or a young quarterback and a very incomplete offense, but they're gonna win. They're gonna win games just because they're playing all the shittiest teams.
I see 3 pretty much guaranteed losses. The 2 Buffalo and the Baltimore game are 3 losses. So I think realistically, we're looking at the other 14 games of this schedule to make some judgment. And those other 14 games are very easy. I completely agree with you. They could be favored in most of those 14 games, but I think they're all going to be hard fought because I don't see any games on here where I'm like, oh, that's a win. That's a win, right? Like even their games where they're favored, like you're like, should they be favored? Yeah. Okay. Yes. But it's not by like meaningful margin.
What's the strength of the New York Jets?
The strength of the New York Jets is probably their defensive line.
Yeah, pass rush. And your offensive line's clearly not fixed. So that is the weakest team in your division. I just said, you should be able to beat the other 2 teams. Yeah. It's still kind of a bad matchup for you if this offensive line isn't clicking. And if you lose one or both games to the Jets,
Miami's pass rush looks like nasty too, man.
Yeah, you're not making your win total. Actually, now Bosa in the division, there's a lot of tough pass rushers you're going to go against, and you're starting a tiny armed little rookie at left tackle.
The game where you're favored by the most is against Cleveland, who has a very good pass rush. Just a curiosity, you got to guess at the ratio of arm length between Myles Garrett and Will Campbell. I'm just curious.
I mean, I'm just picturing the picture of that one shirtless. The shirtless picture of Myles Garrett. He doesn't look human. Oh my God.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think I guess I will concede that the games where I would be excited to bet on the Patriots are probably like the Saints and the Panthers, maybe at those type of price points. I'm not excited to bet them against Pittsburgh. I'm not excited to bet them against Vegas. Vegas has enough violence on that defensive line to spook me. right? There's not like Tennessee. Okay, at Tennessee, guess what? If you're under 3 points, I'll get involved. Like no problem at all there. Can you do enough defensively to scramble a rookie at that part of the 7 weeks into the season? Absolutely, you could. Tennessee, New Orleans, Carolina. Outside of that, there's not a lot of spots that I'm excited to bet these guys. Your favorite against the Jets, you mentioned it. The Jets' strength is their D-line. Their favorite against the Giants. What's the Giants' strength, Andy? Their D-line.
Yes.
Your favorite against the Falcons, which actually surprises me because I have Falcons higher than you neutral rating by a pretty decent amount. And I don't know why you're 3-point favorites hosting them in Foxborough, but that's going to be a fascinating little Penix v. Drake Maye showdown. That'll be fun. There's not a lot of quarterbacks on your opposing schedule and a lot of offenses that scare you. It's a lot of the bottom offenses. So I think what you're pointing about the Patriots defense is maybe the most valid of all, which is they don't actually need much of a contribution, I don't think, beyond health of their young players, Barmore and Gonzalez in particular, to be able to see this defense finish top half NFL. And they may be only DVOA power rated in like the 20s, but because of how weak their schedule is, I think realistically, their EPA per play, they could finish in like 12-ish range. That's completely reasonable looking at the schedule. Okay.
But it's not complete. It's not full San Francisco schedule, but it is a soft landing for a team that kind of needs it.
Yeah, this probably is bottom 3 schedules. I haven't done the numbers closely enough to say, but this might be bottom 2. This might be the second easiest after San Francisco. All right. The rest, great. You get an advantage when you host Buffalo in week 15. I don't think that's late enough in the season that Buffalo's going to take their eye off the ball and give you any kind of breathing room in that game. You're at a huge rest disadvantage when you go at Tampa Bay. That's already a bad spot for you to begin with, and now that gets worse. Travel is not that big of a deal for you over the balance of the season, although week 2 you do get to play the very unenviable 1 p.m. kickoff in Miami on September 14th. I think the on-field temperature, I'm getting a report, Andy, the on-field temperature is in the triple digits.
Yeah.
On the Patriots
let's go to Tracy on the sideline and take a look at the temp for these Patriots and Drake Maye this morning.
Yes.
Jim, it's hot down here. I don't believe they travel out of the East and Central time zones.
It's a very, very soft travel schedule.
New Orleans might be as far as you go.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's as far as you're going west. There are no West Coast games that I can see unless I'm completely whiffing on something here.
You are correct.
No, none even in the Mountain Time Zone, and I think we only have one team in the Mountain Time Zone. Although Arizona is part of the time, so yeah, it is fairly easy for the travel. We are, of course, brought to you by the Circa Survivor and Circa $1,000,007. So we are going to look at using this team or not. I think they definitely fall in the bottom range of that 10 teams that you don't have to use, but you might want to. I think it's perfectly fine saving them. And if it's late in the season, then they're an okay team. Maybe the Jets or Miami have pulled the plug on the season. They're starting backup quarterbacks and there's a spot to use them. I'm not confident enough to play them even against Cleveland or, in that other spot against the Jets on Thursday night as well. So it's probably not a Survivor piece I'm penciling in to play in the old Circa Survivor. It is a save it and God willing and the creek don't rise. Maybe they're an 8-point favorite against Miami and the third quarterback down there in week 18.
Yeah. Or the Jets in week 17. Yeah, I would save them for sure. Although I would be picking against them a couple. I would really you got to think hard about saving Baltimore and Buffalo for those 15, 16. That time of the season is good. You got to think about maybe saving Tampa Bay week 10 for at New England. Those look like good spots because I don't think it's going to be a popular team to pick against, even though it kind of ought to be the way it's.
Yeah.
the way it's rostered and some of the holes on the offensive line in particular. Let's talk about the roster, Andy.
Yeah, if you're in Survivor in week 18, congrats, and you'll have 12 or you'll have 13 teams to pick from, and there might be a better option at that point.
Yeah, and actually, we're going to be in there in week 18, so go fuck yourself. I hope you picked the wrong team. Yeah. Do be sure to sign up for Circa Millions and Survivor in the desert. Play from anywhere. And we'll be out there in 2 weeks. Actually, Andy will be out there in 2 weeks. I'll be out there in 3 weeks. And excited to see our friends in the desert. Sign up for some contests.
No free advertising for Bet Bash, but I will be doing some Bet Bash stuff. I have
you're going to be bashing?
4 events I've picked out that I want to do. The open bar at the Overhang, the open bar at the Legacy, the open bar out at the Stadium Swim, and then the open bar / meal at the Hall of Fame dinner.
It's a full calendar.
It is a full calendar. I do have a podcast appearance I have to do, and I have to go say hi on some of the podcasts at some point. But we'll be doing one of these I'll be doing a couple. Shit, I'll be doing like.
You gonna get together with the NRAS guys again? That was fun.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to hang out, party. That was my favorite thing. You're just talking to people.
Okay. All right. Let's look at the ratings for units. New England's QBOC number for me is 22nd best in the NFL at 3.4. Plenty of scope to go up, but I will also say room to go down if ultimately this is not a happy marriage between Maye and McDaniels.
3.5. Yes, we were close.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do with this because it's exciting that he was good, but then if you actually go back and look at the numbers, it's like, well, he wasn't that good. And then upside with McDaniels, but I don't know where that lands yet. So it's a good place to start.
Yep. Skill position group for me was a 3.5.
So this is interesting.
Are you lower?
I'm lower, but I don't have Diggs in, and I thought you'd be higher.
Oh, with Diggs and Pop Douglas splitting targets, and then wide receiver 3, Kayshon Boutte, and Travion Henderson winning the starting running back job, and Hunter Henry out there at tight end. This is a unit that is better than replacement level, but not by much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a good running back room and a solid tight end room, and there's some upside guys in the wide receivers. But yeah, I'm at a 2.75, but that's no Diggs. That's like a 10% chance that Diggs plays, I guess. So I'll upgrade this pretty decent, I guess, if he's looking good. That's the other thing too. I have to see how he looks. If he's playing and you can just tell like this guy he's washed. And he didn't look all that washed last year. He had his moments. I mean, he was okay, I thought, especially for somebody of his age.
Diggs?
So,
I thought, yeah.
I thought he was. Yeah, but he can be an elite possession receiver, I think, still.
Yeah, at his age, off an ACL, if he cracks the top 30 of wide receiver production this year, I will absolutely tip my hat.
Yeah, you got to shake hands on that if you're a Pats fan. So 2.75 on that. And then what's your offensive line? Because it's funny looking at my number coming into the 2025 season going at the end of last year.
I'm at a 2.0.
No, 2.5 for me. I was higher than you. They made improvements, but one of them's a rookie, and there's a lot of question marks surrounding that as well. We both agree that Bradbury, I said it right off the spot here, off the top, he's not in Minnesota for a reason. Morgan Moses, we had to see it's a 3-way battle for the other guard spot with Strange, Caden Wallace, and City. So Mike Onwenu is it's actually going to be an okay right side, I think. Onwenu and Moses, that's probably the strength of your line, which is bad. So it's still a bad offensive line. It's just not the worst offensive line we saw for many years that we had last year. It's just dip below a 1 for me at times.
Oh,
with
I
their
was
block.
0.5. I was a
Yeah,
0.5 for most of
They're
the year. last year.
I have it. I was 0.61 at the end of the year. It was a 0.61. That is about as low as you can go, guys.
Okay. And I guess, yeah, again, like congratulations on hitting on your quarterback. You have the 27th best offense in football as rostered, and as good as Drake Maye is. He's no Jaden Daniels. That's all I can tell you.
Few are.
Yeah. All right. The defense was a very, very tricky cap because you pretty well have to throw out almost every bit of data and signal you have from last year. Run stop, I have a little below Mendoza, or a little below average, I guess. I say Mendoza. Mendoza line's like the point, like the
I know. We need to
average,
apologize for saying
average. I know, a little bit
We do
below
it so
average. I'm at 0.4. I'm at 4.6. Where are you?
Yeah, Mendoza always meant like the bare minimum to keep your job.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
definitely not average.
That's replacement level, right?
What'd you say? I'm at a 4 here.
I went 4.6.
Okay, I can see the upside there, but it's still a lot of question marks, and a big part of it's going to be a rookie and a guy you're bringing in again with the concerns that hey, you're more of a pass rushing interior guy. Let's see how you are a 3-down guy that's going to get us a bunch of stops in the middle as well. And I am a couple question marks with the linebacking core as well. So a little lower, willing to bump it up eventually. I think the defense has more upside for me.
Okay. Not excited at all about this pass rush, mostly because I feel like the edges are huge question marks. Good job. Apparently Christian Barmore looks like the next coming of Aaron Donald, according to some. And I need to see it certainly before I buy into any of that narrative. And Milton Williams is he was amazing in a unit. Is he going to be the type of player that elevates a unit? I also still need to see that to believe it. So until these guys start to generate pressure consistently, I think they are still quite, substantially below average. So I'm going with a 3.7 for the pass rush. What say you?
I had 4. I'm a little higher. That's a good question though. That's a really good way to phrase it with Milton Williams. Is he more of a product of what they were doing there in Philadelphia that made a lot of people look good? I mean, we saw that a couple times with what they did with running backs that they passed on down the road. Or is he a guy who can make Christian Barmore even better? Can make, some of these rookies coming in, Josh Farmer, Braden Swinson, these young guys are going to have to rotate in. Harold Landry, question mark, Barmore, question mark, because of the injury history. But I don't think it's so far below average just because you do have a Milton Williams anchoring it. I didn't mention Spillane in run stop. He's the upside for me too. I think he's a very good run stop. He's kind of good all around. I think, you're making fun of some of these. They weren't getting other calls. He got calls, I'm sure.
Okay.
And he's happy not to be playing he's happy not to be playing for the Raiders anymore.
He's back reunited with Josh McDaniel and feels so good. All right. Coverage, I went 5. That could go up, but and it probably will go up, or at least perception will go up because they're playing a bunch of quarterbacks who are meh. But if Christian Gonzalez ultimately is not available week 1, this gets a sincere reevaluation as the depth is a garbaggio. What's your coverage number?
Yeah, I don't have anything for him missing time yet because
they said grade 1 hammy. He'll be ready for week 1 probably.
You don't get any real news or real.
You know what they say about the hammy though, Andy? High risk of re-injury. Not sure if you've heard that before.
Very, very much. Yeah. Like Watson in Green Bay, who did it like 5 times. I had a 5.5. I was higher on Carlton Douglas than you. Good safety duo. Christian Gonzalez is very good. Obviously, this drops below average if he is missing time. Good nickel corner. Drafted a couple guys for depth in later rounds. We'll see how that goes. The depth is a little questionable in the defensive secondary.
Yeah, it looks pretty questionable to me. And they are the 23rd best defense. I gave intangibles 3.5 because, again, I'm not really a variable guy. Special teams, they get a 2.5 for me. But I will listen to your breakdown on both of those and see if I need to change my opinion.
It was a fine special. It was average special teams. I just gave it a 5. I didn't look too deep into the place kicker competition between Parker Romo and Andy. Not gonna Boragales, rookie. He was drafted. I did not dig into the kicking stuff in camp yet, so we'll see how that goes. 5 for that. I have a 6. I'm a Vrabel guy. I didn't know I'd be a Vrabel guy, but I'm a Vrabel guy, so screw it. It's
okay.
It was a good punter. Oh, is it Barringer? Yeah, I thought we had good punting stats. We have is it a new long snapper? Yes, we have a rookie long snapper. Oof. Julian Ashby, 7th rounder, taking over the snapping duties. He has all summer to figure that out. Travian Henderson might return some kicks. That could be fun.
Fun. So where are you? What's your final number?
It's crazy how different this is from Miami because of the order we did this in, but it's basically a flat -4.
-4 for you. Yeah. I'm at a -2.45.
I thought you had a worse team than me. Are we doing this thing again?
Maybe we did. Maybe we are.
I had a 35.8 percentile team.
I'm at 37.4. So
you're a little higher.
A little bit higher than you. All right. Well, here's the deal, man. How the fuck are they winning 10 games or whatever? The current. How are they winning 8 games? Like this team is going to be they're going to have to go to war constantly, and they're going to need their offensive line to improve substantially to be able to make their now new established expectations, in my opinion. So all under for me for the Pats. Let me tell you what number I got and what price I have. Under 6.5 wins plus 331. I think this team is probably going to be they're going to have a difficult time getting to 7.
I view them as not that they have the depth and they're probably a little fragile too, but I view them as kind of the opposite of Miami, where I'm not expecting a lot. Obviously, I rate them several points lower than Miami, but they have basically every position group has room to move up. The offensive line, surprising me, wouldn't surprise me. That was a really dumb way to say that. But obviously the biggest one is a step up in class by the quarterback based on the people he has around him on the field and in the coaching booth. If he takes a step forward, he's the ultimate rising tide lifts all boats. Yeah, and suddenly this is a neutral team. This is a middle of the pack team that has like the 15th best defense and 17th, 18th best offense, and they're winning games. And your alt under is dead in week 10, and they just no, and that's why you're getting good number. You get a good price on it.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna know one way or the other by week 10. You'll know. But the beauty of this is that, like, even if they do win a bunch of those coin flippy games and their offensive line is holding off some of those violent pass rushes, I'm happy to double down week 10 on when the schedule gets a little tougher and their rating is a little too high. Happy to. So maybe it's the way I've constructed my portfolio right now in the AFC East looks like a fucking lunatic had control over my account. It's stupid, all kinds of stupid bets, and I can't explain myself, but I'm trying to thread the needle of Mike McDaniel wins enough games early to build expectations up before losing when the schedule gets tough to get fired for the Dolphins to then play for Anthony Weaver and get to 10 wins, while the Jets and the Patriots both wildly underperform expectations and win 4 and 6 respectively. So not asking, and I guess
kind of the closing point there. There's one of these things you need to watch for every team early to see what happens. And I think for this team, it is very much just what the offense is.
Yeah, I need to see what EPA per play number for Drake Maye after 4 weeks. If that's like a 0.1. EPA per drop back after 4 weeks, then either
Good.
either he is completely adjusted to poor protection, or the protection is better, or McDaniels is elevating everyone.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to see what he asks him to do. Like day one, week one, what does this offense look like? I'm very interested in that over the first 3 weeks. So go to Vegas, sign up for Circa. We'll see you next week. Unless you want to click on another video and we're going to go live in, 2 minutes and go talk. You want to hit the music? We'll jump over to another video and do the Bills. Because we are not going to be at work tomorrow. Well, I will. Drew's going to do something fun.
All right, ending stream.